Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Cashing In. Our Cashing In crew in a moment. But first, Detroit is beaten, burned out, and now bankrupt. But a beam of bright light is emerging from the right. This is an exclusive interview you'll only see right here on Cashing In. Senator Rand Paul joins us in the hot seat from the Motor City. Thank you very much, Senator. So the Economic Freedom Zone is your plan. Tell us what your plan consists of.
Well, what this is, Eric, is a free market plan to rescue Detroit. But we don't rescue Detroit by taking money from Houston or Atlanta and bringing it to Detroit. We rescue Detroit by leaving more money in Detroit. So what we've devised is a plan where we'll dramatically lower taxes in Detroit, bring the corporate income tax down to 5%, the personal income tax down to 5%, make the capital gains tax 0, take the payroll tax, bring it down for the employee and the employer. And the amazing thing is, without bringing any new money to Detroit, just leaving money in Detroit, it's over $1 billion that would stimulate Detroit's economy by just leaving money in Detroit that started in Detroit.
So the flat, basically a flat tax at the different levels, but flat nonetheless.
Absolutely, flat and very low. We also look at regulations, and we try to get rid of some of the onerous regulations that is making it very expensive for city government and for businesses to locate in Detroit. We think if you combine all of this, that it would be the model for how you'd rescue cities across the country, but also any impoverished area. We have some impoverished areas in eastern Kentucky because of the president's war on coal. We've had a lot of high unemployment, and we think the same plan that would rescue Detroit would also rescue eastern Kentucky, parts of Louisville, and parts of a lot of our major cities.
And maybe even the country while you're at it. Senator, we've had 5 years of spread the wealth. You didn't build that. Fair share economics. Where has Obamonomics failed Detroit?
Well, here's the problem. The president says, let me tax Houston, send it to Washington, and then I'll pass it out to some other part of the country. But by doing so, he picks the winners and losers. He picks which businesses he thinks will succeed, and then he gives them money. But too often, this becomes sort of a crony capitalism where the government takes money from somebody else who is succeeding in business and then gives it to somebody who they think might succeed in business. So, he did this with Solyndra. He took money from the middle class and he gave it to one of the richest men in the country to build solar panels. Problem was, nobody wanted to buy these solar panels. And so what our plan does is we don't pick who the money goes to, the consumer does. So anybody that's been a consumer who or been a business that's been rewarded by the consumer, they're the ones that get the money.
That sounds a lot like, I don't know, capitalism. Senator, President Obama promised to not let Detroit go bankrupt. Now, he may have been talking about the industry, the auto industry, or he may have been talking about the city. But did the president lie?
Well, he's given a lot of promises. He promised us we could keep our doctor if we liked it also. So there have been a lot of things the president hasn't come through with. I think this is one of them. And in some ways, I think this is the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are always promising you something, but not coming through with the promise. Republicans are promising a real solution. This is also, we've had 50 years of trying government stimulus and it hasn't worked. Now what we're going to try is a free market stimulus where the money gets in the hands of those businesses that can use it successfully to create new jobs.
All right, let's turn the topic a little bit to race. Let's be honest, Senator, neither Republicans nor the Democrats have done very much to help African Americans get a job. 5 years of Obama economic policies have led to very high, elevated unemployment in the black community. And frankly, the Republicans are perceived as not really caring about minorities. What's your plan?
I think we're going to compete. The Republican Party, as far as I'm concerned, should compete for every voter in every city in every state. And I think we do that by bringing our message to the people who haven't been hearing it. And this is a message of economic empowerment. It's also a message of school choice. If you want to get ahead in our country, it's through education. And so many people in our big cities, often minorities, are being shortchanged by a bad school system. We want to make it better through competition by giving every kid the choice. And actually, part of our economic freedom zones is that federal money that comes to Detroit isn't going to go to the school system directly. It's going to go to the kid and to their parents, and each parent will decide which school they want to take their money to.
So it's a plan that goes not only economics, it touches regulation and education as well.
Absolutely.
Sir, Obamacare, all over the news recently, obviously for obvious reasons. Now, we had heard this week, Fox News was reporting that Senator Harry Reid exempted some of his staff from having to sign up for Obamacare. First of all, have you signed up for Obamacare, and how was that experience for you?
Eric, don't get me started. I'm still in a bad mood from doing that. I spent 2 hours on Wednesday doing it. I had all of my information in, all of my most personal information, so I hope they're not hacking into this from all over the country. But I put all my information in, and then I pushed the button to sign up for a plan, and it all went blank, and I lost all my information. The other thing I found out is that when you try to learn about the individual insurance policies, you click on the view the plan to find out more information. Most of the time you get 0 or a blank screen. Occasionally you'll get information. So it's still an onerous task to get on. It's also, I found, very expensive. Obamacare is 4 times what I used to pay. When I was an individual physician, I bought my own insurance. I paid 1/4 as much as I'm having to pay for Obamacare.
So I'm scratching my head trying to figure out how this thing, a lot of what Obamacare was sold to the American public, and frankly a lot of people in the House and the Senate, was that it wasn't going to cost a dime. Well, the costs are expanding, but as people like you find out, when you sign up for Obamacare, you're double, triple, sometimes quadrupling your premiums, sometimes quadrupling your deductibles as well. How in the world is this not going to be a multi-trillion-dollar handout?
Well, and here's the problem. They call it the Affordable Care Act. Nothing about it is affordable because it's a plan that's full of mandates. So what they've done is they've told every American, you no longer have freedom of choice in choosing your insurance company or your doctor. What you have are mandates, and mandates are expensive. So what we're going to find is that everybody's going to pay more, and I think everybody's going to be quite unhappy about this when they discover it.
All right, Senator, we're going to let you go, and maybe Obamacare covers that throat exam you're going to need. You're losing your voice
right.
there. Hey, listen, the Economic Freedom Plan, the plan sounds great, Senator. Thank you very much for joining, cashing in, and letting us break that exclusive news. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Eric.